second month of the Handmade Book Collab. I will leave a link in the description below to Michelle's Mixed Media's channel where she did the tutorial for how to make these books. It's a really great video to check out. So if you want to have a look at everyone else's books, there is a hashtag. You just click on it and it will show you all of the books from last month and this month, and eventually next month as well, as we keep adding to it. And so let's just start looking at my book. I made this out of an A1 piece of mixed media paper, and I folded it up, and yeah, it just made this nice book. I've mostly used jelly prints and like the scrap papers that I've rolled my brayer off, or my paintbrush I've like wiped it off on, and I used some die cuts that I cut out on my silhouette a long time ago. They were literally just sitting on my desk, so I thought I'd use them, and these are all the bits from inside. So yeah, I was literally just using a bunch of stuff up. These are from some wallpaper. I've got some washi tape. I've used some texture place to blend the transition between colours of different jelly prints, and yeah, that's really it. Oh, I also used some glitter. It's kind of like iridescent, so you can't really see it until you pick it up, and I kind of like that because it was subtle. So that's the front cover, and then I made this page, and I was inspired a bit by Willie Steph, because she was talking about one of her challenges that she had to use a colour that she doesn't use very often, and she was saying that she doesn't usually wear white. And for me, my colours that I don't use are probably like oranges and yellows, because I'm not particularly fond of them. Unless I'm doing like a rainbow, I probably wouldn't include them. So I had some of this sort of like paint, like wipe off paper that I'd use to clean my brush up. And sometimes if I have paint on my glass mat here, I will just use it up and swipe my finger on a piece of paper and use that as a collage paper, so it doesn't go to waste, because paint's really expensive. But I've used some tissue paper. This was a stencil that I used moulding paste with, and then modelling paste, and then I painted over the top of it to make some crowns. And this was just paper that I painted on. These were jelly prints. This was a jelly print. I've used some scribble crayons. They're by Lyra. I bought these before I knew what Neo colours were, and I don't need to buy Neo colours because they're literally the same thing. It's just acrylic paint crayon. There's lots of different brands you could play with. I used some woodies. Maybe not on this page actually. I think I just used the Lyras on this one. But on the other pages I use my woodies as well. I've got some wallpaper cutouts on this page. This was a Prima stamp. That's a paper I painted. This is a jelly print where I painted on the gel press and then did a pink layer in the background. I've used washi tape for my sentiments and just as little dashes of the black and white to bring in the images. And I really enjoyed this one. I particularly just love this sentiment. It really made me laugh. And the thought of like, I really want a t-shirt that says that and a crown that I can just wear when I'm in my craft room. I just think that'd be hilarious. So yeah, that was me playing. I've got some gold splatter in the background as well actually. Now this one is probably my favourite. I was thinking about like, how can I get the layer of a oil painting but with acrylic paint, because I don't like oil paint. I'm not sure if it's good for the environment or not, although acrylic paint's probably not great either, but I'm worried about like all the chemicals that I'd have to use to clean up oil paint, so I've not really got into it, and it just takes such a long time to dry. So I thought, I wonder if I can get like the thickness of the oil paint but with collage. So I used my gel prints in the background, so this pink piece here was a big gel print. Then I layered up scraps of other gel prints, so I've got some of this green was a gel print. I think there was some blue somewhere as well, I can't remember. And then I added texture paste in between where the layers of the papers met together. I hope this makes sense. And then I went over the colour of the texture paste. I covered the texture paste with a colour that matched whatever paper I was blending it into, and I got this really painterly blended look. So it doesn't even really look like a collage anymore, but it is. And then I used these images from a wallpaper that I got for free in B&Q ages ago. I think I did a video about it. It was like a couple of years ago probably. And once I put the images onto the page, I hated it because they blended in. So I had to use the black outline to get the contrast. So I thought I'd share that in case you've ever had the same problem and you haven't known how to fix it. Contrast is usually the answer. And then because I'd used black to contrast it, I had to add black into the collage. So I just added some black and white journaling, some paint splatters, and then the washi tape again for my sentiment. And I use my Stabilo all pencil to do all of this outlining, and I love that thing. It's like my favourite pencil in my whole craft room, I think. It literally just goes on anything. It went over the layers of acrylic paint just like nothing. It was so easy. So yeah, love that one. This one was a bit emotional for me to do because I have been processing a lot of things going on in my life recently, and about 3 weeks ago I'd gone to the hospital and been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and it didn't really come as a shock to me, if I'm honest. I kind of guessed, and I'd already been working on, you know, diet and exercise and things, and the doctor was telling me, oh yeah, you just need to do diet and exercise, and I said, no, I've already done all that and it didn't work, so please don't make me do more things. And I felt quite upset by the whole experience because it sounded like she was saying there wasn't a lot they could do for me. Anyway, when we got back from the hospital, the following week my husband came home from work with COVID and he was really poorly, so for 3 weeks I basically took care of my husband. Then I got COVID myself, and I did none of the coping strategies that everyone's been telling me that I should be doing. And I had 2 pain-free days for the first time in decades. And it really opened my eyes. And I thought, sometimes all these things that we are told that we have to do and that we strive to do can actually be the very thing that's holding us back. And this page for me was about finding freedom from my pain. And yes, okay, it was 2 days, but the freedom for me wasn't in the not having the pain, it was in realising that I didn't have to do all of the things, and this page really helped me process that. So I thought I'd share that in case it encouraged anyone else. But for me, it was just about listening to my intuition and knowing that I was right and I knew my body better than any doctor. So the page again is just some jelly prints. You can see all the lovely texture here. Actually this one was a roll off because you can see where the brayer has got lines. But I really liked it. So these are ones of jelly prints, and then I just did the whole texture paste thing again. Went over it with some acrylic paint and my woodies. I used this, this colour a lot in these purple pages. I really like this one. I don't think it's got a name. Oh, it's got a number. 385. And then I used some of this shaved ice glitter. It's really old. It's from Stampendous. It was really expensive, so I'm determined to use the thing up. But I thought it worked really well with this because it had the pink and the green in the iridescence, and I just thought it was really pretty. And then because I was thinking about freedom, to me that just reminds me of butterflies. And I remember the last time I felt really peaceful was just the day after my wedding day, and the theme was butterflies, so I decided to use those on here. And during my project I used up a roll of washi tape, so I was using the roll to make the marks for the circles, and I just used some stickles. And this is a Prima stamp set. If anyone particularly wants to know what it is, I can find it for you. And then this page here, I was still sort of in processing mode and I was thinking about the colours that I don't usually use, so I was challenging myself to use the yellow and the orange again. And yeah, I don't use red a lot either, except for like at Christmas and Valentine's maybe, so that was fun to use different colours. And I used up this washi tape. It was this pattern here. Yeah, I really like that tape. I'm sad that it's gone, but I'm really glad that I've used it up. I used the Stabilo All pen again to go around the skull. I used some crosses, and I was just thinking about doing some kind of like grungy gothic page at this point. And then I found this quote. It's a Bible verse, and it was talking about being still, and I just thought that reminded me of the same message that I've been processing, that I've been telling myself for the last week while I've been making the book. So yeah, I just used a bunch of Kaiser Cross stamps. These are very old stamps. I can't remember who makes this stamp set. I think it's like a Recollections one I got in America. And yeah, it's just really painterly. It's got a lot going on. There's lots of texture paste where I haven't covered it up, so you still see the white. And yeah, I had so much fun with this one. I was so messy. My hands were absolutely covered. I did it all with my fingers and it was great. And then the last page is the back cover. I'm not really satisfied with this yet. It doesn't feel finished, so I might go back and add something, but it's just a back cover, so yeah, it's the same kind of colours as the front page, but maybe a bit more subtle on the front page. But again, I used the texture paste to blend the colours together, and then I went over it with some acrylic paint. I've used a grid stamp, some washi tape. These were some papers, collage papers that I hand painted. And I've got these tiny, tiny iridescent butterflies. I don't even know if you can see them on the camera. They're really pretty. And I just added them to just give it a little sparkle in the light. And yeah. So I just wanted to say thank you so much to Michelle for hosting this, because I really enjoyed myself. And making books is usually something I avoid because I find it really painful on my hands to stitch the binding. And I used to love making books, but when my fibro got bad, obviously I didn't know it was that at the time. Well, not officially, I kind of guessed, but anyway, I digress. I stopped making books because it was too painful, and when I saw Michelle just folding them, it gave me a way to do something I loved again, and I really appreciate that, Michelle. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to join in. And yeah, I hope you all go and check out the other crafters to see what they've made, and remember to click on that hashtag below and have a peek and get some inspiration. Okay everyone, thanks for watching. Bye.